And we're live?
We're
We're live.
live.
Hello, reader
Hello.
friends.
Hello. We call our group Reader Friends. Hey, so everyone say hi to CJ Watson.
How's everybody doing out there, reader friends?
Reader Friends, yeah. Yang Gang. You can also say Yang Gang.
Okay, that's what I was going to say, but I wasn't sure.
That works too.
Either works. Yeah, so thank you so much for doing this with us. Like, super cool of you. We're big fans of your books now. Can get them all in the frame. So
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's just like so cool, like what you've done here. Like, so CJ's big dream and CJ's big project, and then you have a third one coming out, right?
Yeah, the third one's out now, called CJ's Big Moment. It's about bullying and how to handle like bullies in a positive way. So that one is out now. So you can go pick it up on Amazon or my personal website. I think this is the best one so far, I feel like.
Oh wow, that's cool. Because I really like these two, so that's awesome. I'll definitely pick them up.
You'll love the third one then.
Cool. Yeah, so let's see if you're here. Please say hi. Say hi to CJ.
I am tweeting it out right now.
Okay, good.
Hi, Jeannie.
We're in the chat, guys.
I don't know why I said that louder, as if he's going to hear me better.
Erica introduced us to you, so thank you, Erica.
Oh yeah, definitely. Shout out to Erica.
Yeah. You guys know each other from school, right?
Yeah, from high school. Yep, from Vegas.
From Vegas. That's so cool. What high school did you guys go to?
I went to Bishop Gorman. I think she went to Durango, maybe. I'm not sure. I forgot. It's been so long ago.
Yeah. That's cool.
High school is like a fond memory to me.
Yeah. So did you play only basketball in high school, or did you do any other sports?
I ran track and field my senior year. For one race, I beat the person who won the state championship the year before. So after that, I just quit. I just thought there's no reason for me to keep playing anymore or keep running because I beat the state champion. So after that, I just quit.
Just stop while you're ahead.
Yeah, that's my one other sport that I played.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Okay, so you've been like basketball through and through, like lifetime.
Yeah, basketball my whole
all
life.
The
actually,
NBA?
football is my favorite sport. Actually, I like football better.
It's just like watching and or playing.
Both. I never played football like in high school or anything, but I definitely play like with your friends in the neighborhood, all that kind of stuff. But never like organized with helmets and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, cool. That's so interesting. I like never would have guessed that. What do you like about football better than basketball?
I don't know. I just honestly I don't know. I just like it's more people. I think I feel like it's more of a team sport kind of. Basketball is more of an individual sport. But I just like football better. I can't really put my finger on it or explain it.
Yeah,
I just like it better.
Yeah. I mean, no, I can totally see that. Like, I danced, and it's just like if you ask me why I liked, because I did ballet. So if you ask me why I liked ballet more than others, I don't know if I could give you a hard answer. Right. But I was just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a spiritual thing. Super cool. So if you're in the chat, say hi again. Say hi to CJ Watson. Super cool for you to be here. So we just wanted to get started with you, for people who aren't like familiar with your story, how you came to be an NBA player, and then how you came to be a writer. So would you mind just kind of like giving us that introduction first?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada. I went to Bishop Gorman High School in Las Vegas. We won a couple state championships, and that's where kind of my love for basketball kind of started. Just always been pretty decent in basketball, but was never the best. But in high school, I just worked. I think I feel like I just worked harder than everyone. That's how I kind of became to be the best, and that was my path to college, and then also to the NBA. My path to the NBA was different from most people's paths. I didn't get drafted. I was undrafted, so I had to go a different route. So I went overseas for the first year, and then came back, and then went to the D League. It's called the G League now, but it was called the D League. And then I was the 100th. I was the 100th call up, so I was kind of history a little bit. And then after that, kind of the story is just what it seems. Played in the NBA for 10 years and played overseas for 2 years, and then kind of retired. Didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to continue to inspire kids, and I felt like, why not write a book? Why not tell kids about my story and kind of give them a little bit of knowledge and kind of gems that I learned along the way, and hopefully they can use that in whatever way they want to, and kind of better themselves throughout life. And that's how those books came about, and the books are the finished product.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. We're really excited that you're like on this mission and that you're writing books. We love books.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we want to encourage everyone to pick these up. So you started with CJ's Big Dream. So could you kind of just like introduce us to the books that you've written so far? So like, what's this one about, and why did you write the first one?
So CJ's Big Dream is about CJ, the character, wanting to play in the NBA, and that's his main goal. And he kind of has frustrations with the neighborhood he grows in. I grew up in a lower income neighborhood, and I saw, just like the book is exactly true story. So I grew up in a neighborhood where it had a lot of graffiti, a lot of uncut grass. So that kind of discouraged me growing up, thinking that I couldn't be successful or I couldn't make it or be anything that I wanted to be. But obviously in hindsight, you still can, no matter what your things around you, no matter what negative things surround you. So I just wanted to kind of put that in the book, also just to tell kids that you still can be whatever you want to be in life, regardless of the situations you live in. And at the end of the book, CJ obviously wins the game. He reaches his goal. Then he tells his dad, I still want to play in the NBA, and that's my goal. And then he tells his dad that, and that's pretty much the end of that book.
I mean, he wins the game, right? Like,
yeah.
Well, he wins the game, but yeah. So
it's a really good
the whole thing was about me. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Really like.
I think the illustrations are. I think the illustrations are great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it doesn't look like me, but it kind of looks like me.
Yeah, I like that. And then also you made sure that like his family is really present.
Yeah, for sure.
His dad, right?
Because both my parents were present in my life. My mom and my dad, and also in the book I have a little brother. So I have a little brother also, and he played basketball also. He kind of had to wanted to be just like me. So it's kind of like setting a good example for your younger siblings and all that kind of stuff.
We have a quick question. Jeannie wants to know who did the artwork.
A guy named Cameron Wilson. I found him on Instagram when I was doing the process for the book. Cameron Wilson. Yep. So when I was doing the process for the book, I had like 4 or 5 illustrators who were in my price range, who I wanted to work with, and he was the one that I feel like his artwork kind of dictated the story that I wanted to portray, and I just picked him, and he's been doing it ever since, and he's done a great job.
Yeah, the illustrations are awesome. Kateri I don't have the books with me. So Kateri kept sending me pictures. She's like, look how great these are.
Yeah, I like them. They're definitely great.
Yeah, they're definitely, I love when the illustrator, like for picture books specifically, like captures like the emotions and the characters' faces really well. And so that I think that they did a really, really great job with the characters. So yeah. Did you have anything that you wanted to say about this one? I forgot the first one. Or does anyone else, if anyone else has a question about the first one?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, obviously the big theme of the first book is dreaming, right? Dreaming really big. Why is that something that is so important to you that you felt you really needed to like write a book about it?
Because I feel like just growing up in a lower income area, I think a lot of kids in that area, or not necessarily them, but just any kid might not think that they can dream. But obviously you can be anything you want to be in life. And that's, I had a good family around me to tell me those things, even regardless of what I grew up in and the things that I've seen. So I just wanted to portray that message to kids, that you can be whatever you want to be. If you have one parent, if you have both parents, if you live in a big house, live in a small house, like, it doesn't matter the situation that you're in, you can still have those dreams and you still can accomplish things and whatever you want to accomplish, as long as you work hard, which CJ did in the book. He didn't let shortcomings hold him back, and he still worked hard to reach his goal. And that's what every kid should realize.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love. Yeah, it's such an important message for kids. So I just have the second one. So the third one just came out, so we'll make sure we have that linked down below. And here's the CJ's Big Project, which I really, really love this one as well.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell us like what this one's about and why you wrote the second book as well?
Yeah, CJ's Big Project is about CJ. He got an F on his project, which I probably did get a few Fs in my day. And then for him to be able to play in the game, he had to redo the project and get a better grade. So he gets a better grade. He goes back and works hard, re-digests his thoughts and his homework and all that kind of stuff, and then presents his project to his class and his teacher. And he ends up passing the science project, and then he asks his teacher at the end, "Can I play in my game?" And she tells him yes. So the basis of the basis of the book is that schoolwork comes first. That was big in my household. I couldn't do anything if I didn't have good grades or anything like that. So it's just teaching kids that education should come first before any sport, and you still got to work hard to do all these things to accomplish your goal.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that.
I really love that you he uses like basketball as his way to do well in school at in the same time, like he does a science project on like basketball and gravity, and I'm sure Erica could speak to this way better than me, but but it's very clear in the book, he does a good job with it.
And I think in the book his friend's name is Tim, his classmate, and his classmate was just telling him like, don't overthink it. Just whatever you do in your daily life, just try to do a project like that where you can better explain it. And that's what he thinks of basketball as, explaining his project like gravity and all that kind of stuff. And he didn't overthink it. He just did what he was, used to and capable of, and explained it better, and got a better grade on it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And then also the other thing that really stood out to me about that book is his coach like gives him advice, right, for the project, and he says like, you just need to be confident in yourself, like how you're confident on the court, like be that way about in the classroom and how you approach your schoolwork, which I love, because it I think it really to me it really drove home the message of like you can trust yourself to be strong physically, and then you can also trust your brain to be strong, you can trust that you're smart,
right. Yeah,
which sure. I feel we don't empower kids enough that you're smart, you just have to believe in yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And I think just back to your point, I think with the coach thing, I just had so many mentors growing up in my life, and those were a lot of coaches or teachers, and a lot of kids are with their teachers and coaches most of the day, and they're with their parents, for maybe 4 or 5 hours, and they go to sleep and do the same routine over and over. So those little pointers that you might get from your teachers or your coach to be confident, those kind of things kind of stick with you, and that's what stuck with CJ throughout and helped him on this project.
Mm. Yeah, that's so cool. I love that you translated that to the book.
Yeah.
I love how children's books can have these big themes and big lessons, but just written and illustrated in a way that really gets it across to kids in this really simple way. But even as an adult listening to this, I'm like, oh man, I need to learn that lesson. I need to do this, Yeah,
it's weird how, things break down in a certain way, and it's just different things can be told in a whole bunch of different ways. And I think kids' books have so many messages in them, whether hidden or right in your face, but you just kind of got to break it down. And especially for adults, when I read little books to my kids, I'm like, I wonder why they put that in there. I kind of break it down, and I see why, and kind of explain it to my daughter when she's only 3, but she still gets it a little bit.
Oh yeah, 3-year-olds, they're smart.
Yeah, they're smarter than
me. Yeah. So how many kids do you have? Are they fans of the book?
Yeah, so I have an older daughter who's 12, a younger daughter who's 3, and then the youngest who's a week and a half old.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you.
Congratulations. How awesome. Thanks
Thank
for doing
you.
this so soon after you became a dad again.
Oh, it's fine. I didn't have the baby, so I don't have to recover. So,
Okay.
True.
but yeah,
You're
my
good.
my older daughter, she reads the books. Our youngest daughter, but she's it's a little out of her age bracket. But my youngest daughter likes it. She still picks it up sometimes when she goes for a bedtime story or whatever. So it's cute to see that.
Aw, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how cool that you have like a dad that like was in the NBA, but then also
Right.
like writes books, and it's like
It's a lot to be proud
really
of.
cool.
It's a lot to be
Yeah.
proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good bragging
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got this very balanced like dad
Right.
figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
try to
I
balance
love
it
it.
all out for him.
Yeah, super cool. And then we don't have it here, but could you also just speak a little bit more to the book that just came out, and you said it's about bullying, which I think is super great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so CJ's big moment is about bullying. CJ is the captain of his team at school, and there's a bully on his team who always picks on this one kid. And the one kid is kind of scared and kind of taken back from it. And CJ approaches his friend and says, like, "Why do you let Patrick bully you all the time?" And the kid says, "Because I have to make it home every day, and because he's scared that Patrick will beat him up. He won't make it home, so he doesn't really say anything." And CJ just kind of gravitates and kind of takes ownership of it and steps up for his teammate and kind of handles the bullying in a positive way. And in the end, they all kind of not gang up on him, but they all have each other's backs, and the bully just kind of just shuts down and feels embarrassed and goes back to whatever he was doing.
That's
So
great.
it's a good message, I think, and it's good for kids just to be able to see it and see how to handle bullies in a positive way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely like we need more literature and like examples for kids about, I think not just like don't just be a good person, but also like, stand up for people, like don't watch something not being fair and not do something about it. So yeah, I really like that CJ like has that particular role where he's like standing up for someone who's, doing bullying.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest theme of it is, like I said, in my little dedication part, it says, I don't know exactly what it says, but it says just basis of it is just helping others, even when it's not done to you. So don't just look at someone, getting beat up and not say anything, just walk away, just kind of step in and, take ownership of it, even though it's not happening to you.
Yeah, I think it's a really important lesson.
Definitely. Cool. So everyone, the books are going to be linked below. I think we have the first two, so I'll make sure that the newest one is linked below, and you can get them on your website and on Amazon. So we're really like happy that you're sharing these stories with everyone. So we like have like some other questions for you though, if you still have some time.
Yeah, I got plenty of time.
Like
sure.
Yeah, like just speaking. So let's see, what should we start with first? I was just curious, like, what are like some of the like topics that you want to like handle in the future? Like, do you have like a whole list of like things that you want to do, or are you gonna like do a lot of books, or is it just supposed to be like 3?
Well, I signed on to do 4, but I definitely want to do more. I have more stories and more things I want to tell. I know one story that I do want to tell is about my grandmother. She walked my aunt to a white school, so they integrated schools. She was like one of the first Black kids in a white school in Nashville. So I just want to kind of touch on that, especially with all the things going on. During that time, my grandma got a lot of death threats about killing all her kids, which she has 5 of them. Then also maybe kidnapping her daughter, and so she wouldn't go to the school with the white kids, all that kind of stuff. So it's a big story to tell all in a nutshell, but I think it's a great one that kind of needs to be told, and definitely they get kudos for all the things that they endured, all the courage and the strength that they had to endure to go through something like that back in those times.
Yeah, I think that's really important for a children's book, because I think as adults, we don't think kids can handle certain truths. But I think they can. I think kids are a lot smarter than we give them credit for. And, that particular topic, I mean, that's history.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And there's not a lot of like children's history, like that are actually children's books,
Right.
I think that's a really important one to do for sure.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to figure it out and get it done. So
Yeah. Well, that makes me more excited to like keep reading. And it sounds like you've got big dreams, you know, for this whole like franchise.
Yeah,
so
for sure. Yeah.
That's so exciting. Megan, did you have a question?
If you're about to ask about the writing process, that's what the rest of my questions are about.
I had a question. Well, before we get into the writing process, I think we had a couple things on that. And kind of speaking to the history and stuff like that. Well, sort of. So for like CJ's big project, kind of the themes in that, it also like really made me curious. In fact, like being the Yang Gang, Andrew Yang actually talks about the importance of, he's an NBA fan for one, and he talks about the importance of like encouraging young boys to read specifically. Like in his book, he kind of talks about how like girls do tend to have an easier time like being academic in school and saying I like reading, where he kind of points that it's often difficult for young boys to express that interest. So I'm just curious if that's something that you think about like when you craft these stories, especially since you have a young boy hero.
I think so for sure. I think as young boys, you're probably taught to be like more macho, more, you know, strong and tough. And girls, they probably do speak up more in class. And like I'm always seeing like always boys in class when the teacher calls on them, they really don't want the teacher to call them because they may or may not have the answer. So, but I definitely do think it's important for young boys to read and young girls to read also. But that's why I did write the books for not just boys, but just for everyone to read.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's great. Yeah, you can do both. Like you can encourage both, but you do at the end of the day, like you are like a male author writing about a young boy, and I think that there's something really powerful about that. So I was just curious.
For sure.
Got his books. Oh, cool. Have you heard if Andrew Yang has your books?
No, I haven't. I kind of tweeted him yesterday. Me and him were tweeting back and forth. He just told me congratulations on everything, and definitely, I never heard of him before, but I definitely looked him up. So definitely will look more into it and definitely support him.
Cool. Yeah. We're big fans. You'll probably get a bunch of followers now from the Yankees.
The blue hat sworn.
Yeah. As soon as they hear like someone's like, "Who's Andrew Yang?" Like, well.
Right. Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah. Please tell me about it. I want to hear more.
So we were really curious about like you like being a writer. So Megan, what was your question?
I think just in general, we were wondering just like about your, writing process. What inspired you to start writing? Have you always been a writer? Is that something you've always been interested in?
So I always had like ideas. So when this opportunity first came about, I had the idea, like I said, I wanted to write books. I thought playing in the NBA was definitely inspiration. So I decided like, what can I do now that I'm not playing in the NBA to kind of continue to inspire kids and kind of reach them towards their dreams. And I just came up with the idea, let's try and write some books. Let's tell my stories. And then one of my old coaches, he was a previous author. And so I called him and he introduced me to this lady named Tamika Newhouse and her company. And we basically talked on the phone for like 6 or 7 months. So basically I was just telling her all my ideas and she basically just put my ideas to paper. And then we went back and forth about the storyline, about, the character, the plot. Did he want to be based in school? Did he want to be in high school, middle school, elementary school, all those things. Then we put it all together. And then that's how you see the end books. And I think she did a great job of helping me tell the stories and write the stories. And I think I'm happy with the end process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So was there anything that like surprised you? I think was like kind of what we were curious. So if you did learning about the publishing process and the book writing process.
All that was
it's like
all
that
that
goes
was
into
basically,
it.
Yeah, all that was new to me. So I'm basically like a new puppy learning new tricks because I'd never been an author before. I never knew anything about the author world. So I had to learn about publishing, about who's the top publishers, who's the best, illustrators, like how to publish a book. I didn't even know you can publish a book on Amazon. So I didn't know any of that kind of stuff. I thought you had to go to like a big publishing company. I didn't know you could publish independently. So I had to learn all these things kind of new and on the fly, which is kind of cool because I know, I mean, I like to learn things. I want to learn new things that are not in my realm. So it's fun just to learn new things and um, kind of relearn myself. So it was definitely a process.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. I actually work for someone who publishes children's books on Amazon.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'm kind of familiar with that. And it is really cool because when you go through traditional publishing, I mean, if you even can, because it's not easy.
It's not easy, yeah.
Yeah, they have all this criteria about, what'll sell and what's hot in the market and stuff like that. Yeah. And yeah, I think some things get lost. And so you have a lot of freedom when you publish your own thing.
Right, yeah, you kind of can tell your own story. It's kind of like the music business. They kind of like, you have a good record, they kind of put you on hold because someone else is a little better than you or they're more popular right now. So I think I see a lot of similarities between the author and in the music world, but it's definitely cool to learn and just to learn something new.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like there's less gatekeeping when you do it yourself. So
yeah,
I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it fits your message too of just like having a dream and going for it, and like working hard and just sticking to your gut.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really like that. Cool. And so then you said it was like all based on your life too. So you're really like telling your story, your personal story through this fictional character.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's my whole thing when I did talk to her about writing these books. I never wanted to tell a false story because I mean, who's going to believe a false story at the end of the day? And I want to promote, truth and knowledge and kind of give these kids little gems. And all these stories are definitely true. Like I grew up in the lower income neighborhood with graffiti, abandoned buildings, all that kind of stuff. I didn't really get bullied, but I came across a few bullies in my day. So, I mean, I know how to handle them. And that's kind of why the third book was written. And the second book, I definitely got a F on my project before and had to go back, and redo it. So all these are definitely true stories. And I definitely believe in all of them. And I didn't want to tell a false story.
Right. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, like, even with like kids' books, which are usually like can be sometimes like fictionalized. I love how even still you want the integrity to like be there. And so it's kind of like teaching integrity even through like this creative process.
Right. Yeah. I think it's great to just to read an authentic story because, like I said, who's going to believe something that's not true? Because at the end of the day, it's going to eventually come out one day if it's true or not. But all these stories are true, so it's nothing that can really, blast me or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that
you
too.
didn't get an F on your project. It was like a C-. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Inauthentic. Okay, I have one more writing question that I'm actually curious. It might be, maybe it's a little weird, but I'm just genuinely curious. Like, do you find that there's anything about how you work as a basketball player, or like the skills you learned and applied as a basketball player that you like that maybe crossed over to how you approach writing?
I think so. I think they all have a correlation. I think basketball teaches you so much things like teamwork, how to deal with adversity, how to have courage, all that kind of stuff. And I think writing is kind of the same thing. You definitely got to have patience in writing. You have to have patience in basketball. You have to definitely have to put the work in, in both worlds. And so I think there's definitely a correlation between definitely take all those attributes that I learned from basketball and kind of apply them to even my daily life and to, when it comes to writing and having these ideas and telling the story. So it's definitely they all play a big part.
Cool. Yeah, that's super interesting. Yeah. So yeah, I love to hear that because that's so interesting to me because I think people like tend to separate like physicality from your mind. Like we kind of put maybe academia over here and then like sports over there.
Right.
But I feel like there's actually a lot more crossover. So that's I'm really, it's cool to hear you say that.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of correlation, I think.
Yeah, it's super interesting. So what else do you want to talk about?
We have a few questions in the chat. If you want to go over those real fast.
Do that. Yeah, for sure.
So we have one who wants to know if your 12-year-old plays basketball.
No, she did play basketball, but now she plays volleyball. Well, she plays basketball for her school team, but she's more focused on volleyball.
I like volleyball.
Cool.
And then Erica has a question. How do you feel about the WNBA coming out for Black Lives? Can that be a story?
I think they're doing a great job. They're doing not to say a better job, but they're doing a great job of publicizing what they believe in, what they stand for. And I think that's the biggest thing about sports coming back. Would they be able to have the platform to say how they feel? And I think this NBA and WNBA are both doing a great job of letting the men and women, say how they feel, and then go about that and still be able to watch sports at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's been really great to see as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any more questions from the chat?
I think that was it. But if you guys for those of you that are still watching, if you do have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat and we will get to them.
Let's see. Megan, did you have a question you wanted to ask?
Let me look at my list. I think we got to a lot of them.
Yeah. I was curious. Well, we have Erica in the chat, so I feel like it would be not good to ask you about education in general. So I don't know, do you have any thoughts on our education system? You came from, like you said, you came from a neighborhood. What was your school like? Is it something that you think about, how we can just make our education system better, but even just based on your own experience?
Yeah, so I know I'm big on education here in Nevada. I know Nevada is ranked number 50, which is probably the worst. So I really think our education system needs a lot of help, for probably money wise, paying the teachers, and then also getting the public schools the education that they need to have to achieve and be successful in life. So education is really big. I went to a private school, so I'm not to say we had a little better education, but I guess it's a little better. But I definitely think the public schools need more attention, and for those kids to be able to get that attention and get those things that they need to be successful in life is a big deal, because those are the next doctors, lawyers, maybe future presidents. So we got to make sure they're on the right path and not give people just in private school the upper hand, but give everyone the same chance to be successful in life.
Yeah, we definitely just need more investment, I think. In education, and in teachers and everything. Yeah, absolutely. I think Megan and I both totally agree, and Erica both totally agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think the last thing I have is you have also an actual foundation, right? So on here it says Quiet Storm, and I saw some video on YouTube as well, and I'm assuming that published by Quiet Storm Foundation. So what's going on with that? I saw that you were doing some pretty cool stuff. So I'd love to hear what you've been doing, but of course, I'm assuming it's been somewhat modified because of the pandemic. So what's going on with that and the goals there?
So it's a foundation me and my parents started 10 years ago when I first got to the NBA. It's a foundation that we help underprivileged youth reach their goals through health and wellness, through fitness, and through different programs. So we have 3 or 4 programs we do each year. One of them we do a free basketball camp. And we do that because when I was growing up, basketball camps were expensive. They're $200, $300. And I don't know how my parents managed to get me to all the camps that me and my brother went to, but they did somehow. And I just thought it was just right to, once I did make it and was able to give back, I wanted to do that for kids whose parents might be in the same situation that my parents were. And I didn't think that you should charge kids, to come to a camp. So they should be able to go to a camp and get it for free and have fun and play basketball. And other 2 things we do, we have a Black History essay contest every year where we pick 4 or 5 winners. And usually when I played in the NBA, we would fly those winners to the city that I played in, whether it was Chicago or Orlando, free flights and free hotel rooms. And they would come on the court and get announced in front of all the 20,000 fans and just feel real special about themselves. And then we would have a little luncheon for them also. And so since the past 2 years, we've been taking them to Washington, D.C. to go to the museums there and go to the White House. And the last program we have a out of school program, which we do every second and fourth Saturday. And we have a chef come in and teach the kids about healthy eating. They make a healthy meal every second and fourth Saturday. They have a STEM project that they get to do for an hour. And then we also have a gym instructor to come in and work with them for an hour. So we're just trying to promote, healthy activity, healthy learning, just do these things for kids and just so they can have a joy about themselves, so they can be confident and so they can have goals and know that they can still reach these goals no matter what.
I love all of that. I'm like,
sorry, it's long, but you asked for the whole spiel, so I had to give you that everything.
No,
I was
that's
just
amazing.
like
That's
blown away with everything you said. That is so cool.
Yeah, no, and I love the emphasis on like the whole person. You're covering, that the activity, you're covering, the brain, the academics, you're covering, and then you're also covering the chef with the nutrition part. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yeah. Like, because that's something like I'm really interested in. And so I just to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, like if I were going to like make up a program in any areas, that's exactly what I would want to include. And like the fact that you're doing that, I think is so cool. Are you and your parents? Great. I think that's really amazing.
Yeah, it's a great program. I mean, we try to hit everything, cover everything, but it's kind of hard. But I think we're doing a great job of it. It's not just me and my parents; it's a whole board of people. We have like 10 or 15 people who all volunteer. No one gets paid, so everyone who helps does it from the bottom of their heart to really genuinely give back and to help these kids, promote and try to give them a better future.
So cool!
Wow,
I love it.
It makes me think of like what I've heard of like Google headquarters, like we should be treating all of our kids, kind of speaking of like on question education, like why can't we have that like holistic like approach for everyone? But you're doing that, so that's really great that you're putting in all that work, because I'm sure it's also a lot of work and you're writing the books on top of it. So
yeah,
so cool. I just made my day like hear that exists.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Like I said, it's not just me. It's a group of people. It's a board of people, and we all come together not for anything to promote us or anything like that. It's all for the betterment of these kids and their futures.
Well, thanks to all of you. That is just a really really cool thing.
And are you still able to do any work with like with COVID going on right now, or?
So for the basketball camp, we canceled this year. We did have the Black History Essay Month contest. That was earlier in February. And now we still do the out of school program, but we just do it kind of outside. We do we don't do the food aspect of it. We do, we have a health coach come in, and we do all the activities and stuff outside. So we do like jumping jacks, and she'll have like a whole program for the kids to come outside and do.
That's cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, so you're still able to get some stuff done, and that's great. And I'm sure you'll be back once you're able to.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing in the kids is to get to get out of the house and do some things.
Yeah, some kind of normalcy.
Yeah, some kind of activity just to keep their minds, instead of on TV or just stuck in their phones or iPads, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, super cool. I think we have a couple chat questions before we wrap it up.
Yeah, so we got
also some big support.
Yeah, there's a lot of support. Erica said if CJ tweets that he supports or wants to know about Yang, he'll get a lot of new followers. Yes, he will.
Just so you know, keep that in mind.
Erica also says, she also says she's grateful to know you.
Erica's the best.
Samantha says you're an amazing guy. And then let's see, we have like a few more questions. It wouldn't be
of course.
Here comes the Yang gang. So what does CJ think of UBI? So
I don't know what that is.
So UBI is
so
so it stands for Universal Basic Income.
Okay.
And
So-
I'm trying to.
well, it's what Yang. I think we'll just keep it to the Yang. So like it's basically because it's a whole rabbit hole, right?
Okay.
It's what Andrew Yang ran on. So if you look into him, you'll find out really quickly. But yeah, he ran on this. It's this concept of like $1,000 a month. Well, it could be any amount of money, but his proposal was $1,000 a month for every adult citizen. So it's like Martin Luther King actually was like running, or not running. He was advocating for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like it's basically an effort to end poverty.
Right.
So,
yeah. Okay. So they pay every adult $1,000 a month.
That was what he ran on. Yeah. So I mean, and there's a lot of different proposals. Some are $1,000 a month to adults, and then like $500 for like additional kids and all of that. It's essentially just like giving you the freedom and like getting away some of the stress that you have to worry about, and giving kind of everybody an equal floor to stand on. And that's basically what Andrew Yang ran on. But it's been a concept for a very long time. It's been in the conversation.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not super big on politics. I know a little bit, but not a lot. But
I mean, that was me and Megan too. Like it was literally that's like the general. I think Erica as well. Like the general story of people who like joined the Yang Gang is like, I think we listened to the Joe Rogan podcast and heard Andrew Yang talk about UBI and automation and all this stuff, and we just like got super on board. So yeah, we're not
right.
And we started a book club, so yeah, we're still not even that political. So we feel
but yeah,
we're just like UBI, and then we're gonna go back to our normal lives.
Yeah, right. But yeah, it's definitely a cool concept to get lost in. So yeah, and then Samantha had a question.
Send you some links.
Yes, we'll send you some links, or we'll just send you Scott Santons. We'll just send you the whole person.
I'm willing to read.
Awesome. Samantha said, "Have you ever thought about opening up a school?"
I actually have thought about opening up a school. I just need a lot more money to do it, and a lot more funding. But it's definitely a thought. I know a lot of schools here in Vegas are opening up, and when I was in high school, it wasn't as many high schools, and now there's like 30 or 40 of them. But so it's definitely an idea, and wouldn't be too fun to actually bring that idea to fruition and make it happen.
Cool.
Yeah. I think we kind of think of this traditional idea of like public school versus private school. Like private school is kind of only for like a certain class or something like that. But it doesn't. I don't think it necessarily has to be that way. Like we just have to like as a society come together and just demand change, and whether it's just adjusting the already existing establishments and stuff like public school, or allowing people like you to like who are like coming from the right place and thinking outside the box and have the right intentions like to do your own thing. Like, I think both are valid.
Yeah, and I think it's also all in the people. Also, everyone has a voice, and if we come together, and everyone who is like-minded come together and say how we feel, and demand change. I think change will come. It might not come tomorrow or the next day, but eventually, if we keep speaking our voices and speaking our minds, that change will come.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's what we're about. We're just trying to like help people read more and learn things and stay connected as a community. And children's books are a great way to do that too, because we need to bring our kids along for the ride. So
For sure. Yeah. I'm gonna get them for my mom. My mom's a teacher, a third grade teacher. And I was like, I'm gonna get these for her. She would love these.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah. Super cool. Okay, so I think that's all we have. We did a good 40 minutes, so thank you for your time. And we'll for sure, please keep us updated on everything. We will spread your message as much as we can. I think you have some new friends. Definitely consider tweeting at Andrew Yang some more, because
All right, yeah, I will.
You'll find us.
Yes.
And just really quick housekeeping for our book club. We're currently reading The Future Earth by Eric Holthaus. This is the book on climate change, hopeful vision of the future. So if you don't have this yet, please get it. Please also get CJ's books. And I think we'll say bye. So yeah, everyone say thank you to CJ in the chat, please.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys.
Good luck with everything.
Thanks for coming. Bye, reader friends.
Are you gonna Megan? Bye.
Yeah, I got it.